Man, this is a tough situation for the Brooklyn Nets. Oh boy. So, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant met with the Nets owner today and basically aired out all his issues he's having right now. He made sure to discuss his interest in still wanting to be traded from this team. So Kevin Durant still is seeking a trade. He would prefer to be traded to a contending team, and this doesn't look like a situation that could really be fixed. He still wants to be traded. However, he did give the owner an ultimatum. He legitimately gave the ultimatum to the owner and said, look, it's either me or the GM and the coach. So basically, Kevin Durant saying you have two options. You can either trade me to another team and get something back, or you can keep me here, but you have to fire the coach and the GM. Which is very interesting because I thought he was fine with Steve Nash. I thought they didn't need a coach. I didn't know there was any issue between Kevin Durant and Steve Nash, but apparently there is. Right now, Kevin Durant does not like the direction the Nets are taking, which is a big part of why he wants out. But the fact that he's willing to stay if both the GM and the coach is fired is crazy. It's crazy to think about, but I just don't see how the Nets do that. Why would they fire their coach? And why would they fire the GM? So you're telling me you want him to fire both Nash and Marks in order to have you stay here? I don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. I think it's a situation where the Nets are going to have to look to trade him. Now, of course, you still have the few people that were mentioned, such as the Celtics and the Heat, that are going to be looking to try and get KD, but I just don't know what you do if you're the Nets here. You probably going to have to trade him. If he's really saying that you have to choose between him or the GM and the coach, bro, I'm going to have to take the GM and the coach. I'm sorry. I got to take the GM and the coach. I can't be in a situation like that where I just don't. These guys, we're trying to build something here, and if you don't like the direction this team's going, I mean, we just got to move on from you. If I'm the Nets owner, that's the mindset I got to have. So it's really up to the owner here in terms of what he wants to do, and if he feels like this is a situation that can't be fixed by having both of them there, the best move he should make is to trade Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a great player. We know what he brings to the table. He's one of the best players in the game, but I'm sorry, man. If you're telling me we have to fire the GM and the coach in order to keep you here, it'd probably just be more beneficial to just move you from somewhere else. This whole situation has been very difficult. We're still getting rumblings and talks about Kyrie potentially still ending up being traded to the Lakers. That's still going on. And then you got this Kevin Durant situation here where it's like, yeah, he still wants to be traded. He wants to be traded to a contending team. He wants out. Now he gives you this ultimatum that he's willing to stay, but both Sean Marks and Steve Nash need to be fired. And you have to get somebody else. Fire these two, hire someone else. I want these two gone. I'm willing to stay in Brooklyn if you get rid of Steve Nash and Sean Marks, which is very interesting because I thought they didn't need a coach. Then again, I guess KD's not the one who said that. So, that was Kyrie that was emphasizing that. I guess KD didn't have that same feeling. But yeah, it's come down to an ultimatum. Now, honestly, the Nets don't really have to do anything now because he's still under contract. It's not like he's going anywhere next season. So he's still under contract. If they want to keep him here, they want to keep him here. It's fine. They don't have to make a move. But I don't know if the Nets want this to linger into the season because now there's going to be a lot of drama and it's going to cause issues. And it's just like, you don't want these problems to follow you into the season. So the Nets have to make a decision here. Trade KD and figure out what package works. Let me tell you right now, Nets, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get what you want. All these other teams that are trying to get Kevin Durant, they know KD wants out, and he's emphasized he wants to go to a contending team. So they know what he wants. You don't have leverage here. You really don't. You really don't. You could choose to keep Kevin Durant, but this is an issue that's going to follow you into the season, and that's going to be a problem. Do you really want that? Do you really think that does Steve Nash want to have to deal with this in the regular season? Does Sean Marks want to have to deal with this in the regular season? Do they only want to have to deal with this in the regular season because it will follow them to the regular season? If they don't fix this issue now and either determine to keep KD and get rid of the GM and the coach or trade this guy to a contending team, which I would go with that, or just trade, not even a contending team, just trade him. Just trade him. You have to trade him. You're not going to get equal value for Kevin Durant. At this stage, everybody knows he wants out. He's throwing you this ultimatum. Trade me or keep me and fire those two. Nets have to make a decision. You're not going to get equal value in the package for Kevin Durant. It's not going to happen. I know you want to get equal value for trading Kevin Durant, but it's not going to happen. The Celtics have offered you something. I'm sure the Heat have offered you something. Several teams have offered you something. Choose the best out of what they've offered you and go with it. Otherwise, keep Kevin Durant and deal with these issues throughout the regular season, and that might lead to some setbacks and some problems later on. If you want to deal with that headache in the regular season, by all means deal with it. But the Nets have to come to a decision. Kevin Durant has given you an ultimatum. Make a choice. It's him or the GM and the coach. Make a choice and act accordingly. It's not going to work. It no longer looks like they're willing to coexist. Kevin Durant does not want to deal with Steve Nash anymore. So make a decision. Trade KD or keep him and get rid of Nash and Marks. It's come down to this. So the Nets have to make a decision, because if you choose to keep him here and you don't fire those other two, it's going to be an issue heading into the regular season. And this is a team that wanted to compete and wanted to contend for a championship. You want those issues while you're trying to compete? No. So it's time for the Nets to figure out what they want to do. It's not a fun situation. It's not an easy situation. Kevin Durant has put his foot down and issued this ultimatum. You could easily ignore it and just go into the season with Kevin Durant still being here. He doesn't really have the power to determine where he gets to go or if he gets traded or not. They could just keep him here. He's still under contract. So he doesn't have to go anywhere anytime soon. That's just how the situation is. But if you choose to keep him here, this is going to be a lingering issue that will follow you into the regular season. And while you're trying to compete in the Eastern Conference, you're going to have to deal with Kevin Durant constantly talking about him either wanting Nash gone. He's like, I can't work alongside him. I want him gone. Fire him. Or he's going to be like, I don't want to be here anymore. Trade me, trade me, trade me, trade me. You're going to have to deal with this issue in the regular season. I have no clue how the Kyrie situation is going to unfold. We still continue to hear rumblings that he's going to end up being a Laker. One way or another, Kyrie's going to be a Laker. That's what we continue to hear. I have no clue if that's going to be the case. Whatever happens is whatever happens, but you don't want this situation to linger into the regular season. Nets really do have to make a choice. You've got to make a decision. It's not fun. It's not easy. No one wants to deal with it, but yeah, the Nets have to make a choice. Again, like I said, my final iteration for this is to trade Kevin Durant. You know, KD's an amazing player, but it's not worth it if I have to get rid of my coach and my GM, especially if I'm trying to build something here. I don't know. Some people might just sit back and say Kevin Durant is worth getting rid of your coach and your GM. If it was just Steve Nash, I think we'd be willing. The Nets would be willing to comply. I'm saying we as if I'm on the team, but I feel like the Nets owner would be willing to comply if it was just Nash. But the fact that Sean Marks got put in this too, why would he fire his GM? I can understand firing the coach if you just don't like the coach style. The player, you maybe it's a situation where Steve Nash coaching just doesn't work. That's fine. But to take the GM too, he said both, the coach and the GM. So they're a package. Both of them gotta go. And I don't know if the owner wants to fire his GM. And I think it will come down to that. So yeah, Nets have to make a choice. And if I'm the Nets, my choice is to trade Kevin Durant because I don't want to take this with me into the regular season. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. With that being said, that is all I've got. And I am out of here. Peace.